Hey everyone, it's been 2 weeks. Just kidding. I actually ended the live video before. I wanted to tell you a quick story. So hopefully most of you are still here. Um, a lot of people will come to our inbox and they'll ask us questions like, what should I do? Or, how can I stop scammers? What can I do? And, we always tell you to like and share and let other people know about scams, educate people. Education is our only defense, and that's always been our motto. But there's a little story that I want to tell you guys, and I hope that it inspires you to get out there and talk about this subject. The other day, I was at my local grocery store, and I was standing in line at the customer service, and there was a woman in front of me who was trying to do a Western Union. And she looked very frustrated. She had her phone out, and she had filled out the form, and she gave it to the clerk, and the clerk is somebody that I knew. And the clerk kind of started to question her about this money being sent. She was trying to send $2,000 to Turkey. And the lady in question actually works at a local shop, but I live in a kind of a town where everybody knows people. And I was listening to this woman, and the clerk asked her, she said, "Do you know this man that you're sending the money to?" And the woman had answered at first, and she said, "Yes, it's my boyfriend." And the clerk looked at her, and she was, the woman was very frustrated. And the clerk asked her, "Well, is this your boyfriend who you're sending the money to?" And she said, "No." She said, "It's an agent of his. My boyfriend lives in New York. He's working in Turkey, and he's a contractor, and I need to send money to his agent in Istanbul, Turkey, to help him pay for his supplies for his contract." And as I was waiting in line behind her, I moved in a little closer, and I just, listened to the whole conversation. And the clerk, God bless her, she said, "You know what? I can't do this anymore. I can't authorize this. And, as a Western Union agent, I have the authority to ask questions, and you've sent money before, and, this is kind of a suspicious issue. You need to tell your boyfriend that, I can no longer authorize these Western Union transactions." And the woman, got very nervous and frustrated. She grabbed her phone and she was walking off. And I noticed she was standing in the corner by the customer service desk. So I went and did my thing I needed to do. And then I approached the woman and I said, "Look," I said, "you don't know me." And I said, "It's none of my business, but I couldn't help but overhearing that you were denied sending a Western Union to your boyfriend." And the lady kind of looked at me at first, and I'll tell you about myself. I do really good on camera and things like that, but in person I'm pretty quiet and I'm pretty shy, so it takes a lot for me to just walk up to a stranger. And I just walked up to her and I voiced my opinion, and she said, "Well, it's to my boyfriend in Turkey." And I said, "Well, listen, do you know this man in person?" And she kind of diverted her eyes away from me, and she said, "Well, yes." And I said, "Well, have you met him in person, or is he just someone that you're chatting with online?" And she kind of avoided my question for a few minutes, and she said, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine." And I said, "Well, look," and I told her what I do, and I says, "I work on this page," and I said, "It sounds like you're being scammed, and I just want to make sure you're safe." I said, "I don't know you, and I want to make sure you're okay." Long story short, the woman never met her boyfriend. It was an online relationship, and she had ended up sending him over $5,000 over the course of a few months. She was sending money to his agent, and we all know how that goes. And the agent was a Nigerian man living in Istanbul. And of course, the man that was her boyfriend, it was a fake profile, fake dating profile. And this woman in question, without giving out too much information about her, she was not wealthy. She worked a very normal job that anyone would work, at a store or whatever. Stocking a grocery store or whatever. So she was not wealthy, and she was actually taking all of her checks and her money, and she was giving it to this scammer for the last few months. And she's been living hand to mouth while giving him all this money, thinking he's coming home from Turkey and that he needed this money for this contract. And so with my interaction with her and with the clerk at the store who stopped the Western Union transaction, we were able to kind of open up her eyes and get her to see that she's being scammed. So the moral of this story is, if you're out somewhere, or a friend, a family member, even a neighbor, doesn't matter, and you think they're being scammed, or you hear that they're in a relationship with somebody they met online, don't be afraid to ask them. Don't be afraid to go to them and say, "Hey, could you could you tell me more about the man you're in a relationship with or the woman you're in a relationship with? You don't have to come across very, you know, forceful. You don't have to start yelling at them and saying, hey, they're fake, they're fake. Talk to them as a friend. Say, hey, I heard you're in an online relationship. That's wonderful. You found love. Could tell me about your new guy or your new woman, you know. And these are things we need to do. And even if it's a stranger, you know, that you've met on the street and you overhear them saying they're in a relationship, or you see them trying to send money, you know, in that type of situation, don't be afraid to speak up. Don't be afraid to introduce yourself and say, hey, I was in an online relationship. You know, tell me all about it, you know, or just throw it out there, because you never know who's being scammed. And quite often people think, oh, I would never be a victim of a scam because I don't have money. A lot of our scam victims, and I'd probably say 75% of them, are you know, lower income, or they're poor, and they take loans out and they sell their cars and the things that they love for this person. So always get out there, ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions. You know what? You have nothing to lose. If you walk up to someone in that kind of situation like I did and the person tells you to go to hell, well, then you tried. You know, but at the end of the day, you can have that clear conscience and know that you did try and you did ask them. So don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to go out there and ask people if you overhear a conversation like that, and you may save somebody. And so that's just my story of the day. And Anna and myself always tell people, talk to people, get it out there, share, educate. You know, romance scams is such a taboo subject for some people, and it's something that people laugh at, or if they don't know anything about it, they laugh at it, or they don't think much of it. But at the end of the day, it's very important to educate people. So don't be afraid to go out there and speak to them. If I can go out there and just talk to some strange lady at a grocery store and say, hey, I'm being scammed, you know, are you being scammed? Are you okay? And you can do it as well. So hopefully this video came out good, and that this story helps inspire other people to get involved. Because like I said, we only have each other, so we have to help each other out. All right. Take care. We'll see you soon. And if you missed this video, we'll upload it to YouTube. I see some of the comments. So if you miss it, it'll be on YouTube shortly. Thanks, everyone. Take care. We'll see you soon.